Welcome back to the channel in Tech. In the previous video, we have seen selection sort, which is a brute force method for sorting an algorithm. So in this video, we are going to see bubble sort, which is another brute force method. Bubble sort, which is another brute force method for sorting the list in ascending order, which is similar to the selection sort. In the selection sort, we took the smallest element and placed it at the first of the list. In bubble sort, we are going to do the opposite of it. That is, take the largest element and place it at the last of the list. We'll see with an example. So here is a list of elements: 14, 33, 27, 35 and 10. So this here is a list of 5 elements which is not sorted before. We are trying to sort this using bubble sort. So in bubble sort, what we do is we compare each and every adjacent elements and find the largest of it and then swap it to the furthest element. So we'll compare first two adjacent elements and check if the largest element is towards the right. If the largest element is towards the right, we won't swap it. So these two will be staying like that only. Now again we'll compare these two adjacent elements. On comparing these two adjacent elements, the largest element is towards the left. So what will happen? Swap occurs. So 27 comes here and 33 goes here. So again we'll compare the adjacent elements. So here we have 33 and 35. Since 35, which is the larger element, is towards the right, swap won't occur. Again we'll compare the adjacent element 35 and 10. Here 10 is smaller but it's towards the right, so swap occurs here. And then 10 would come here, 35 would come here. So after the first iteration in the bubble sort, the resultant array would be 14, 27, 33, 10, 35. So this here would be our resultant array. As I told earlier, the largest element in the array will be kept at the last position. So now we see that the 35 is the largest element and that 35 is brought to the last position of the array. So what recursively we can do? We know that last element is largest, which is kept at the last. Now we'll apply bubble sort for the remaining n-1 elements. So again we'll compare 14 and 27. 27, which is the greater, is towards the right, so there won't be any swap. Again we'll compare 27 and 33. 33 being the largest is towards the right, so no swaps. Then we'll compare 33 and 10. Since 10 is smaller but it's towards the right side, swap occurs here. So on the resultant of the third iteration, we get that the elements are 14, 27, 10, 33, 35. So this here is the resultant array. As again, now the last but one largest elements gets the position last but one. So this here 2 are the largest two elements and those elements are sorted properly. So now our array has come down to n-2. And further we'll try to do the same bubble sort. Compare this and this. Since 27 is the largest, there won't be any swap. Then compare this and this. 10, which is smaller but towards the right hand side, there will be a swap. So now the resultant array would be 14, 10, 27, 33 and 35. As you can see that now 27 has also, which is the largest element, has got its position. Now our array comes down to these two elements. Now we'll compare 14 and 10. 10, which is the smaller element, is towards the right, so therefore swap occurs. So our resultant array after all the swaps would be 10, 14, 27, 33 and 35. This here is the resultant array after the bubble sort. As you can see that our array has now been sorted. now that we got to know the working behind the bubble sort, let's try coding it. Let's try writing the algorithm for it. So what would be, the algorithm consists of two loops. One outer loop which is used to keep the count of number of times bubble sort is being applied onto the resultant array, and then another loop is to traverse through the array to find out the largest element. So this here would be the algorithm. For I is equals to 0 to n minus 1. Here n is the length of the array. And then we'll go inside and then again do for j is equals to 0 to n minus 1 minus I. Since why I am decrementing I, why I am not including I is that after every iteration we get to know that the largest element will be shifted to the last position. So again for the next comparison, our resultant array would be one element less than the I. So since I is incrementing by 1, I won't increment j with that element. So I am going to decrease it by n minus 1 minus I. Then for each of this element, I'll check if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1. So if I find if the right element is greater than the left element, I have to swap. So swap a of j and a of j plus 1. So if it's not, then we must just ignore and come out. So this would be the end of the for loop, this would be the end of if statement, this would be end of for loop, and this would be end of the outer for loop. So this here is the algorithm. Now that we know the algorithm, let's try finding out the time complexity of bubble sort. So first find out what's the basic operation. So here for each iteration in the outer loop and the inner for loop, the if statement is getting executed without fail. So therefore the basic operation would be the if statement inside the j loop. So now that we got to know the basic operation, we have to find the number of times the basic operation is being executed. So we know the number of times the for if statement is being executed is the number of times outer loop is executing times the number of times the inner loop being executed. The number of times the outer loop being executed is from I is equals to 0 to n minus 1. Whereas the number of times the inner loop being executed is j is equals to 0 to n minus 1 minus I. And number of times the if statement being executed is 1. We know that sigma I is equals to lower bound to upper bound 1 is nothing but upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. So applying the same formula, we get sigma I is equals to 0 to n minus 1 is nothing but n minus 1 minus I minus 0 plus 1, which would result in sigma I is equals to 0 to n minus 1 n minus I. We know that we can split the sigma operation among two operands. So therefore this would become sigma I is equals to 0 to n minus 1 n minus sigma I is equals to 0 to n minus 1 I. Applying the same previous formula, we get here as taking n outside, we get n minus 1 minus 0 plus 1 minus here we know the formula sigma I is equals to 0 to n. I is nothing but the sum of n numbers, which is equals to n into n minus 1 by 2. So this here would come as n minus 1 into n minus 2 by 2. So on further simplification, we get n into n minus 1 minus n minus 1 into n minus 2 by 2. On solving this, we get n into n minus 1 by 2. So this here is the number of times the basic operation being executed. So what do we get to know from this? We know that C of n belongs to theta of n square. So, as the size of the array increases, the number of times the basic operation being executed also increases drastically. So, as the input size increases, the time complexity also increases. So, if you have liked the video, please do like, share and subscribe. And I hope that you have a good understanding of bubble sort now. Thank you for watching.